Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. Today we will be having a nice relaxing end of week video. This is probably going to get posted up sort of Friday, Saturday, whenever I get round to it. It's going to be a nice relaxing video to end the week. And we're going to be talking about some Black Templars. Obviously a week or so ago I put up one of my videos announcing that I was interested in Black Templars and I started collecting them. And this is just going to be short video, say what I've managed to scrounge together so far, what I've learned, what I've painted, what I've done, and what I've an after action battle report. I've had my first battle report with Templars, and it was really fun. So anyway, first things first, I am in full Templar mode at the moment. Obviously, you guys have seen I've still been putting up Imperial Guard content. I am keeping my promise. But I am loving Templars mode. I am immersing myself in the fluff. And these guys, they're just really, they're completely different to your regular Astartes chapter. They're much more zealous, much more religious, very, close combat orientated, which is, completely new to me. I do have a worldy design with that I've mentioned, but I've probably used it I've had it since like 6th edition, and I've probably used it less than 10 times. I don't use this world leader army. I'm not enthusiastic about it, so it's really nice to have that fresh new perspective, whole new sort of way of playing, and to be really enthusiastic about it. So some of the pictures I put up, some of them are painting pictures, some are I've got a couple from the last battle report that I did. Not all my models are painted yet, and I don't generally like playing with unpainted models, but sometimes when you've just got that itch, you've got to scratch it. So anyway, let's get into what am I going for? Well, I am still committed to the Black Tide. I'm still committed to that. I want to have 100 Space Marines running out across the battlefield, putting the enemy to the sword, putting them to the bolt pistol. That's what I want. Like I said, this army isn't going to be the most competitive army, but that's the vibe that I want. So my sort of goal at the moment is to reach that magic, 100 Marines. And when I've got my 100 men, 50 neophytes, 50 Marines, once I've reached that and added in the characters that I need for my rough 2,000 point list that I have, once I have that, that's my baseline. Once I have that, I'm going to, start really fleshing out some of the other areas of the army. Get some rhinos, get some predators, land raider crusaders, all that kind of jazz. What have I got so far? I have 40 men at the moment. Not gonna lie, went on a bit of a shopping spree. I was only really planning on getting a couple of Crusader squads. Kind of ended up getting 4 Crusader squads. How I'm running them is 10-man squads with 5 neophytes with bolt pistol and chainsaw in each one. And then I've got 5 initiates. I've got two bolt pistol chainsaw initiates, and then I've got a power weapon and bolt pistol initiate. Then I've got a specialist who's normally either a plasma gunner, a flamer, or a melter gunner. And then I've got my sword brother, and at the moment my sword brothers I've got 3 sword brothers with power swords and combi weapons, and then I've got 1 sword brother with dual lightning claw, who is a really fucking awesome looking model, the dual lightning claw one. Really, really happy with it. So what did I buy to build to get those? Well, it wasn't that much really. I just bought the first week I bought a tactical squad and 2 scout squads, and that gave me 2 Crusader squads, and then I built those up and got a lot of them painted pretty quickly. So I was like, right, well, I'm halfway through this first batch already. Let's go and get another squad. So I ended up buying another tactical squad and 2 more scout squads. And then I've been using bits and stuff to convert them so that, because you only get 1 chainsword or 1 power sword in each tactical squad box. And obviously I've got lots of guys running around with chainsaws and stuff. So I have, you know, pulled chainsaws from other areas and done some conversions and bits and bobs. I've also got some guys which just are running around with no arms on, and a couple of guys which have got no bodies or arms on, because I'm not using any Aquillas in the army. I've read, I'm about halfway through Hell's Reach, which is like the Black Templar Bible, the book. And I've read in there that it's like a big part of the Black Templar fluff that there's no Aquillas in your army. So I've taken all the Aquillas off the guns and stuff that I'm using, and the chainsaws and the other weapons. And I've not used any torsos with Aquillas. So I've got a, but to make up for that, I've got a Black Templar upgrade kit on the way. But blah, 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 I'm getting a bit confused. I'm all over the place. Basically, I've got four 10-man Crusader squads at the moment. I also... I've got a couple of other things on the way that I picked up for an absolute amazing deal. So I ended up getting 10 scouts for £15 online, which is half price. It's a flat half price. Normally it's 5 scouts for £15. I got a chaplain for £6, including postage, which is, you know, great. And then I ended up getting a Land Raider Crusader for the low, low price of free. That's right, folks. So I'm obviously, I've got a, you know, friend circle. We all play Warhammer. You know, we're all in a group chat. There's like 10, 15 of us in a group chat on Facebook or whatever it is you call it. You know, Facetube, those kind of ones. I'm joking, obviously. And I just put out, yo, I'm interested. Anyone got any Land Raider Crusaders they're not using? Because, you know, it's 45 quid for Land Raider Crusader. And I'm like, ugh, you know, that's so expensive. And last time I just asked the chat for something like this, I ended up getting 2 Baneblades for 30 quid each. So I was like, wow. So one of my mates who I hadn't spoken to in a while, I think he was just lurking in the chat, he sent me a private message saying, hey, I've got Land Raider Crusader. I'm willing to sell it to you for £30. And I was like, that's a pretty good deal. You know, that's like 50% off, roughly. You know, it's like, well, not quite. What was it, like 33% off? I was like, that's a pretty good deal. But then I had a bit of inspiration. I said to him, hey, do you want to swap anything for it instead? And he was like, well, I'm looking at starting a new army. Do you have anything that could help me with that? And I said, well, I've got loads of chaos. You know, I've got loads of chaos stuff. Would you be interested? He was like, yeah, actually, I am really interested in chaos stuff. What have you got? So I sent him a picture of my full Chaos army, and he saw a particular unit in there. I was like, hey, what are these guys? And I was like, oh, they're the Chosen from Dark Vengeance. And he was like, oh, interesting. Have you got anything else like that? And I was like, well, I've got the whole Chaos Dark Vengeance set. Now, he doesn't know this. Well, he might do if he watches this video. I don't know if he follows my channel. But I actually got that Chaos Dark Vengeance stuff for free. Someone just gave it to me. I don't know, I can't remember where I got it from, but I think my brother, I did a favour for my brother. It was years ago. I've just had these things sat on the sprue pretty much. And I just did a favour for my brother, and he was like, oh, by the way, you know, I've got this Chaos After Dark Vengeance kit. Do you want it? And if you remember me saying in a few videos ago, I think it was in the other Black Temple video, I said, I ended up acquiring this World Eaters army for basically free, because lots of Chaos people just gave me their models that they didn't want anymore because they were quitting the game, lots of friends. And so that's why my Chaos army is not really one that I'm particularly enthusiastic about, because it's not really mine. It's just an amalgamation of other people's armies that have been mashed together. Well, this is kind of part of that. You know, my brother was just like, yo, I've got the Chaos Half Dark Vengeance. You did me a massive favour. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, of course. That was like 4 or 5 years ago, or whenever Dark Vengeance first came out. So I basically got this for free. I was like, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the whole Chaos side of Dark Vengeance. You know, I want, you know, he's a friend. It's not like I'm trying to screw this guy over. It's not like I'm trying to get every penny out of him. He wants to get rid of his, I want his Land Raider. He wants my Chaos stuff. He's not using his Land Raider. I'm not using any of this Chaos stuff. It's pretty much all still on sprue. So I was like, hey, I've not used it for 5 years. You have it, and I'll get your Land Raider. Straight up trade. And he went for it. So I basically got a Land Raider Crusader for free. So that's that is great. So the final tally after 3 weeks of collecting Black Templars, maybe, you know, almost a month, because I did put that Black Templar video up. I recorded it at the beginning of the week and I was thinking about it. So after almost a month, I've acquired for my Black Templar army a Land Raider Crusader. I've got 10 bolt pistol close combat weapon scouts coming from eBay. I've got a chaplain coming from eBay. And then I've got 20 initiates and 20 more neophytes. So what's that? 30 neophytes, 20 initiates, a chaplain, and a Land Raider Crusader. I think in total, that has cost me about £100. So not a bad haul. Not a bad haul at all. So I've got 5 more scouts. I had 5 shotgun scouts that I was going to use for my Arbites, but never did. Because my Arbites got finished. You know, I only ended up using 3 squad for my Arbites. So I've got, 35 initiates. Neophytes. So that, you know, progress is coming along. And obviously you can see in the pictures that I put up that, you know, I'm plugging away at the painting. I'm learning things like I made a mistake on my Sword Brothers. That needs to have a black and red shoulder pad rather than the white shoulder pads, but that's fine. I have the Black Templar upgrade. I have a Black Templar upgrade kit coming on the way as well, because of, you know, I don't want to use any Aquillas in the tactical marine box. There's a few breastplates with Aquillas. I don't want to use those. I also want more chain swords and power axes and stuff. So yeah, the army's really coming along really well. I feel like I've amassed, you know, quite a large force in a relatively short space of time. You know, 1 month, you know, I've really amassed a lot of stuff. And I want to say, guys, you know, this is kind of a testament to, I wouldn't say bargain building your army, but, you know, there are good deals out there. You know, I'd say, let's be honest, for about £120, I've managed to get myself 55 Marine models, a character, and a Land Raider Crusader. That is, you know, really good. You know, really, really good. I could have got it even cheaper, you know, because I bought some stuff from like third-party retailer, which had like 20% off, and I bought some stuff from brand new from Games Workshop. If I'd been patient and got it all from this third-party retailer, you know, I could have easily cut that down to about £100, you know, instead of 120. So it really shows, guys, if you keep an eye out on eBay for those good deals, if you keep an eye out, you know, if you ask your friends, you know, or if you're part of a large group, people have always got models stashed away they don't want to use anymore. This guy had a Storm Raven as well that he was willing to trade, brand new in box, but he wanted a Chaos Land Raider and 10 of the Old Star Raptors for it, and that just wasn't good for me. You know, that's like 100 quid worth of models for 40, 50 quid worth of models. That wasn't a good deal for me, so I said no, not to that. But yeah, anyway, guys, so that's how the army's progressing. Obviously, it's sort of exploded. I've got lots to paint now, which I'll be doing. I've actually got a battle with my Black Templars, 1,000 points after I record this video, which is great. I'll probably do another after action report on that next week. I'm thinking maybe like we might have Templar Fridays. Maybe. I don't know if that's too often. You guys tell me if you think having like Friday dedicated to like the Black Templar videos, if you think that's a good idea. If that's too often, I'll do it like every other Friday. Something like that. You guys put it down in the comments. You know, I am... If anything, I do try to be quite engaged with you guys. You know, I do try and answer every comment that I can. I do really take on board your feedback. I do read every comment, by the way, guys. I may not remember every single one of them, but I do read every single one. And as you guys probably know, some of my long-term subscribers, I've done videos based entirely on like one comment that someone's put back to me. And it's really got my brain thinking. So I love the comments. So if you think that putting a Templar video up once a week is too much, and that this is a Guard channel and it should be only for Guard, let that be known. If you're like, hey, Mordian Glory, I could go for one Templar video a week, go for it. Let me know. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go over this battle that I had. So it was a 750 point battle report. I did it on the day that the Space Marine Codex came out so that I could use the new points cost. I know, a bit cheeky of me. And I was playing against my brother's Blood Angels, the ones that were in the Blood and Shadows campaign. So my list was 4 Crusader squads, a Chaplain and a Lieutenant. My 4 Crusader squads, I had Combi Melter, plasma gun and 2 power swords, and then I had melter gun, combi plasma, 2 power swords. Then I had a lightning claw, a double lightning claw, power sword, plasma gun squad, and then I had a combi flamer, double power sword squad. So the flamer squad only had a single power sword. I can't remember. No, they all had double plasma sword because the lieutenant was, and the lieutenant had a power sword. One of the squads, that was it. Sorry, not that you really care. One of the Crusader squads only had 1 power sword, and the lieutenant had a power sword instead. Okay. And my opponent's list, my brother's list, was 2 Razorbacks with twin assault cannons, 2 5-man tactical squads, 5-man scout sniper squad with camo cloaks, 5 sanguinary guard with 2 big axes and 3 big swords, a sanguinary priest, and a captain with legendary fighter, chainsword, and power sword. And my warlord trait was the fearless one, and I had the crusader helm, so that everyone within 9 inches of my chaplain was fearless. I won't do turn by turn, but basically I actually got first turn because of the way the drops landed. Because I got to place the first unit because he won the roll-off deployment zone. I got to place the first unit when I went first. He failed to seize. Turn 1, I banzai charged everyone out across cover. And did a bit of poultry shooting, but I don't think I did. I think I killed 1 scout with a melter gun, maybe. I tried a 12-inch charge turn 1, and I almost got it. I got like a 6 and a 3, and when I re-rolled it, I got like a 6 and a 4. So close. Really, really close. So Black Templar Chaps Tactics almost made me get a turn 1 charge. Would have been possible if we'd been playing on a map where the deployment zones were only 9 inches apart. I could have easily got a turn 1 charge. Anyway. His turn 1, he unloads, his tactical marines get out the Razorbacks, his sanguinary guard move forward, he unloads absolutely everything into me, and he kills about 12 to 15 guys, but he doesn't, a lot of that goes on bolt pistol, chainsword, initiates, and neophytes, and he doesn't actually wipe out a full squad. And his sanguinary guard actually failed. I believe it was like a 6 or 7-inch charge. And they failed even when he used a command point. So really got a 1 twice in a row with the command point. I remember that fucked him. So my Black Templars then move forward. One Crusader squad dives on top of one of his tactical squads. And his sanguinary guard. 2 battered Crusader squads dive on top of his sanguinary guard, and a full 10-man Crusader squad dives on top of 5 tactical marines and 5 scouts. And so the grind begins. And this is something I've learned about Templars, okay? They do not have overwhelming numbers of attacks. Power sword initiates, just 1 attack. Regular initiates and neophytes, just 2 attacks. They haven't got overwhelming number of attacks. But thanks to the chaplain and thanks to the lieutenant, they may not have lots of attacks, but they have very well placed attacks. So thanks to, we had kind of an even number of marine models in the fight. He killed me down to like 25 marines versus roughly, 20 marines. So we had a similar number, but because my guys were all, they were all within that 9-inch bubble. I kept them all just within 9 inches of the chaplain, and then 3 of the squads were in range of the lieutenant. It actually meant that I was re-rolling all hits, re-rolling 1s to wound, and it was just the fact that I had all these re-rolls, these tasty combos, that over 4 rounds of combat, I ground him completely down to he only had 2 Razorbacks left at the end. And the mission was see it secure and control. It's the old Emperor's Will one, where you both got 1 objective. He controlled my objective with a Razorback, as you will have seen in one of the pictures. And I controlled his objective with a 5-man Crusader squad, which is also in that picture. We both had Warlord because we'd gone in an epic duel with my 1 wound chaplain dueling his full wound captain, and my chaplain bringing his captain down to 1 wound before getting killed, and then the lieutenant dived in with his power sword and killed his captains. We both had Warlord, we both had Linebreaker, we both had each other's objective. But if you remember me saying, he didn't get first blood, and I did, because I just dived on top of his scout squad, focused all my attacks that I could, and just wiped them out. And I won on first blood. So yeah, really, really great battle. Really invigorated me. I learned a lot about Templars. Don't expect to overwhelm your opponent in dice. You need your rerolls. Character support is absolutely essential, but they can grind it out. And, you know, we're talking about a Blood Angels army here. You know, ones that are typically famous for being alright in combat. You know, we're talking about Sanguinary Guard, a 2+ save with a 2 wound, unit. You know, with 2 attacks each, with big fuck off swords and big fuck off axes. You know, those guys were no slouch in combat. And I have to say, once the grind was over, I had a 4-man Crusader squad left, and a 5-man Crusader squad left, and a lieutenant left. And my opponent, you know, that was just from grinding through his Sanguinary Guard, 2 tactical squads. The scouts folded pretty quickly. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really, really fun battle. I've got so much more to learn, but it really invigorated me, and I'm eagerly painting up Templars. One thing I wanted to say was that I actually noticed the neophytes doing a lot of damage. I think it's because what I tended to do, and I'll cover my tactics in more depth later, what I tended to do is I actually tended to put wounds on the bolt pistol chainsword initiates first, because they're exactly the same as neophytes, but they've got an extra armor save. And that tended to mean that the initiates would, tank, quite a few more wounds before going down. And that meant when I made it into combat, typically I didn't have any bolt pistol chainsword initiates left over. And the neophytes are the ones that were laying down the majority of the dice. And they were doing a good job. But yeah, I'm going to go into more tactics later on. I just wanted to do a nice sort of relaxing sort of stream of consciousness video for my last video of the week. Like I said, guys, tell me what you think. If any Black Templar players out there got any advice for me, this is 750 points, go up to 1,000 points. I'm thinking of using that Land Raider Crusader I got, or would it be best for me to, buy another couple of Crusader squads and maybe pimp them out with some gear? Who knows? I think I'm probably best adding in a Crusader squad, maybe a bigger Crusader squad, like a 15-man one, and another chaplain. I definitely feel like chaplain's the way to go for Black Templars, but I'm going to be doing more videos on those later. I'm going to do like a chaplain versus captain video and, sword brother loadout video. I'll be doing those, but, over a long period of time. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Of course, always leave your comments below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.